Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we had the privilege of visiting Express Diagnostics so we could get some knowledge in what it takes to reprogram a vehicle's ADAS system, which is adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and some autonomous driving. We have Nick and Kevin that invited us into their facility. They actually manage the local Express Diagnostics facility right around the corner from the school, and they are also both former graduates of the Tech Automotive program. We'd like to give them a special thanks for inviting us in and showing us what it takes to make it all happen. I hope you enjoy the video.
Oh, look at that. It's amazing what happens. Okay, let's do that again. What's today's date?
February 25th, we're going on a field trip.
All right. Today's the 25th?
Yes, sir.
Wow, it's 2 days away from my birthday.
What you about to get him?
About to get him a detail.
That's what we're talking about. It's like deja vu. I feel like we've done this already. Did I already say Express Diagnostics?
No.
We're going on a field trip to Express Diagnostics. Everyone cheer.
Yeah!
These are my seniors, and we are going on the first field trip of the year. We'll see you there.
Hi guys.
Hopefully you're cool with the camera in your face while you're explaining stuff.
I don't give out autographs. I have to charge for those.
We're gonna have to work something out there.
Respect.
So, wow, look at all those wires.
Yeah, we were just talking. So this car was hitting the right front.
Yep.
Went to a body shop. Left the body shop running. Went to a repair shop. For some reason, they changed the computer. I don't know why. And since then, it doesn't work. So then we showed the guys this. Busted here. As dumb as these locking connectors look, they're pretty important.
Yep.
In some cars, they're the second stage to sealing the connector. So this car is getting a harness, whole engine harness.
So by you seeing the damage there, you're convinced that the issue's there, and
that's where we have to start.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
You got to do the obvious.
We're having communication codes. So usually if these lines are twisted together, they're CAN lines.
Yep.
These aren't power and ground. These are communication. So these are talking to something. So if this got hit hard enough to break here, what's it look like on the inside?
Sure.
You know, so you got to start with the obvious. That's obviously not a good connection.
And it's obviously a little bit on the delicate side too, so it's not something you could just slam
And you know,
around.
somebody's been in here, E-tape here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You know, so somebody's been in here doing something.
Yep.
So we're just gonna eliminate it. In some cases, you can get a connector, but Nick, just these being such small pins,
Sure.
deep pinning this is gonna be a nightmare.
Absolutely.
So we talked to the customer, like, dude, get a harness. So he's gonna bring a harness down.
This is not a car that was in a collision. This is actually Kevin's personal car, his wife's car.
Yeah, it's not as cool as the Acura, but it does the job.
We're gonna pretend that this car was in a collision, hit in the front, fresh new bumper, new radiator support. Maybe it got a new windshield too, airbags deployed, yada yada yada. First thing we're gonna do is when we go into a shop, we'll put a battery maintainer on it to make sure that we don't have the voltage go too low while we're doing any kind of coding, programming, or calibrating. So our maintainer hooked up, positive, negative. It's set up to basically just do a supply voltage. We're not doing like we're not like charging the battery. It's more just maintaining a steady voltage on that vehicle. What we're gonna do is your scanner in here?
VCR's on the IA900.
So behind us, we have the IA900 stand.
So guys, one of the important things that Nick has on here is the battery maintainer. This is not a battery charger. Does anybody know the difference?
Yeah.
I heard no? Yeah, maybe?
Yeah, he just told us it keeps it at a steady pace instead of charging.
That's very important. I wasn't listening, I would answer a phone call, but that's very important when it comes to programming. If you're programming a new module and you get a voltage spike or a voltage drop, it's not going to get all the information. So keeping a steady charge on this is very, very important, especially programming when you get into module. Stevens.
All right, so typically our first step is we're gonna do a pre-scan on this vehicle. Everybody see the screen okay? So typically what we do, because we work and mostly get paid by insurance companies, proof is with pictures. So while I'm fault scanning this vehicle, I can take pictures of everything that we're gonna do. Take pictures of the car. Typically we do all 4 corners around the car. I'll take a picture of the VIN number, which I'll do that real quick. So pre-scan's done. Pops up. Do I want to attach any photos? Just put everything that we've taken so far. Do I want to do an alignment pre-check on this one? I'm going to skip that. Doesn't need an alignment. Kev, you got a code? All right, so next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna exit this, we're gonna go back into it where it doesn't allow us to do any calibrations in the pre-scan. Most shops will do pre-scan before they begin any kind of repair, so this is a little informal. I would do a pre-scan on this when it got towed in, it's smashed up. As long as the battery's good, I got good voltage and good communication to everything, that's what I would do. Very useful in figuring out if the car was smashed in the front, do I have communication to the front radar still? If I don't, I know I can start chasing a wiring problem. Maybe there's a broken harness from the collision, blown fuse. If a module gets smashed, sometimes it'll internally short out. Your wires are all looking beautiful and you have perfect continuity if you were testing for a broken wire. Potentially a blown fuse. Start checking fuses. First thing, find a blown fuse. We'll jump right into our post scan. We're not going to attach any pictures yet. We haven't done anything. So now we'll jump into our ADAS calibrations. So the first thing that we're going to do on this one is we'll do the windshield camera. There's 2 different styles of calibrations. We have static and we have dynamic. Static meaning a stationary calibration. Dynamic would be driving. So here I have 2 selections. I can do a driving, or they call it a SPTAC calibration, which that's going to be our static calibration. That's not terminology throughout the industry, it's just for Hyundai. Some vehicles you do need to have an internet connection, so you need to make sure that you have a good internet connection to your scanners. For us, we're in our building, we have good Wi-Fi in here. I'll show you in a minute, I have a really nice big Wi-Fi hotspot for while we're out in the field. So I don't have to go to every shop and say, hey, what's your Wi-Fi password?
What's your Wi-Fi password, yeah.
All right, so it's asking us, are we nice and flat and level? And we are. We are on our rack. We are not higher than the ground. Do we have enough space in front of us? Yes, we do. Now we have all our tools that we need that you guys can see up on the TV screen there. So we have our IA900, that's this big red stand, red and black. We need our Hyundai calibration target, and we need the rear wheel alignment clamps.
target. The thing we just put on? Yeah. So that's the target. Every manufacturer is gonna have a different target. So that one is just Kia and Hyundai. I think Dodge has adopted it now as well. This one's Audi, Volkswagen, Porsche. You got another one back here. I think that's Lexus, ABM, Subaru. This one's Alfa Romeo, similar to this, but minus the lines. So they're all different, as well as there's a whole box over there on the rack. That's a bunch of little targets. You'll see for the Honda Acura, they're smaller. But every manufacturer is going to have their own thing. It's not proprietary, or it is proprietary. It's not universal, which is another downfall. Not only, instead of me just holding on to 2 targets to say do everything, I got to hold on to like 30 to do the car. Yep. So
Each
in
one
every
of our
van,
vans is equipped with all of the targets to do windshields
Yep.
and any radars that we need to do.
I think the most universal target we have is is it over there? Is the white corner reflector down the end. You'll use that on the radar on this, as well as the blind spot on the Subaru. So that's probably the most universal tool we got. That tool probably gets used in about 75% of all the jobs we go to. Please don't.
You said that Subarus can like grade you on how well you did.
Yep.
So does that mean that all of them have the ability to do that, but they just don't program that?
Everybody's software is different. I'm sure if they wanted to adjust it and give you a grade, they could. But Subaru gives out, they call it an accuracy inspection. It's basically grading how well that picture went through the glass and is reflecting back. And that's 0 to 100%.
All right, next step is the second part of the calibration. We have 5 minutes to get it into the second position. Yeah. So because we moved the calibration frame farther back from where it was before for the first calibration, we did have to make all our adjustments again that we did before, but as you saw, it didn't take very long. When we're at shops, it takes a little bit longer.
See? Perfect. So this is again another reason why we like showing everybody this. So this could be, so we know we're centered because we use the cameras, right? So let's say there could be a glare on the hood. And we see a glare on the hood. I got one in the corner, and probably that side light is probably causing the glare as well. So this is a good example. Some cases, if the windshield was replaced and the glass technician didn't put the camera in right, that could be a problem. Lighting's a big issue. I didn't mess with the camera on this, so this one's going to be a lighting problem.
Yeah. So we may have to relocate the vehicle somewhere else in the shop.
That's what we would do from this point on. So we would move this, I would move it in the middle of the shop where there's more central light, and then it would pass. We wouldn't get to do that. So what we can do, Nick, if you want, I will work on moving this, and you can take your scanner and jump on the Acura.
How do you know if it's a lighting situation and not something wrong with the car situation?
So that's the hard part because
Right.
we can't see what the camera sees.
Right.
So if it doesn't calibrate, it's now just putting on your diagnostic hat and trying new things.
It's no different than if we get a car in that doesn't start.
Correct.
Is it the fuel pump? Is it spark? Is it
Now, the
whatever?
only difference in that case, what I would argue, is you can go into all that. Punch in, say you get a code for a
Good point.
whatever, you know what I mean? And then
Yep.
you have a diag tree to follow.
Yeah.
With stuff like this, there's no diagnostic tree.
For like, for instance, Volkswagen, Audi, if we were going to do a camera calibration on one of those, a lot of times if it fails, it'll come up with a failure code and then you can find out what that failure code is.
Okay.
Did it not see enough of the target?
Sure.
Is it too bright?
Yep.
Stuff like that.
So there are manufacturers that talk a lot better than others
Yes.
when it comes to the
Yes,
diagnostic
they
end
won't
of
send
it.
the DTC, so they'll
Right.
say fail code XYZ.
Gotcha.
And, you know, and hopefully you can find Audi's chart that says what's XYZ.
Right.
Lighting too dim, didn't see all the circles.
Okay.
Missed center circle, whatever the case may be.
So, since we had an issue with this one, should I move my car into
No.
better lighting?
Nope, I think that's gonna be good there. That's why I wanted it there. Tiny.
Okay, go ahead.
Jamie had a great idea with this light being in the way. After failing the calibration, he asked if we could turn it off and redo the calibration, and turning it off helped the vehicle pass.
My man.
Thanks to Jamie, the vehicle passed calibration.
Good job, Jamie.
It's good for you guys to know about this stuff so that if you're in reassembly and you just put a freshly painted bumper on this car and the calibration guy comes out and says, you know, because a lot of the cars that you're going to be fixing in the real world are primarily going to be newer, right? Newer cars have good insurance, usually full coverage. They get into an accident, they want their car fixed. They're not driving it still. They're not taking the insurance check and putting it in their pocket. They're gonna get it fixed. We usually typically come out. We know we have relationships with a lot of body shops. It might be one of those situations where you just put a freshly painted bumper on a car. It took you a couple hours, took your time, made sure you didn't scratch nothing, just got painted, the paint's still soft. Then we come out and say, hey, something's wrong with the radar. We're calibrating it and it's way off. It's way off. Something has got to be bent, right? So when I'm calibrating a radar, I know this is a little different than what we're going to do with the camera here, but a lot of it has to do with angles, right? So you have a vertical angle and a horizontal, right? So vertically would be like this, right? So we got our vertical angle. Is it bent too far down? Is it bent too far up?
Is there anything a body shop could do before the whole car is put back together to see if it's within spec? Short of calling you up and having you come down and...
So I guess you would have to know what you're looking at and be able to look up in AllData or Mitchell and see if there are specs available. I do my best to educate my customers so they don't have issues like that.
in the future,
It
right?
still happens. They miss things. Sometimes you're just rushing cars out the door. A lot of times the radars are mounted to the body rather than the bumper or the grill. And if you have a spot in your shop that's nice and level, it doesn't take much to just get an angle gauge and put it on there and see if that is sitting at, depending on how it's calibrated, 90 or 0 degrees.
Okay.
We're not going to do a dynamic calibration because I can't fit all of you into this car. And I got car seats in the back. So we'll do our static.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
We are 2-wheel drive.
Thank you for watching our YouTube video.
Please like and subscribe.
Make sure to stick to the end to watch our bloopers and joke of the day.
And now it's time for the joke of the day with Chef Williams.
Of course, we all know why 6 was afraid of 7, because 7 ate 9. But why was 10 afraid? Because he was right in the middle of 9/11.
Oh, hey. Relief like that. Okay.
That was...
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel.
Please like and subscribe.
I meant to say video.
I just fixed my